Half-Life Alyx. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Half-Life Alyx is Valve's VR return to the Half-Life series. It's the story of an impossible fight against a vicious alien race known as the Combine, set between the events of Half-Life and Half-Life 2. So much hype about this game, so much bollocks being said about this game as well, guys. It isn't groundbreaking, let's be honest. There's nothing in this game that hasn't really been done before in any other VR game. What this game does, it does it way better, way more polish, way more refinement. It just is better than any other VR shooter out there. It's as simple as that. But it doesn't really do anything that hasn't been done before. I mean, Boneworks has more physics than this game. We've all done reloading before in other VR games. We've manipulated the environment. Robo Recall, you can grab a robot, rip its arms off and bash another robot over the head with its arms. You can whiz around a world as well in that. This just takes bits of everything that's already been done and just ramps it up 100% with shit tons of polish. And it runs great. It really does. You can alter the graphics a little bit if it's not running so well, but I've run it on my 2080 and it runs great. And I'm pretty sure from what I've read, any VR ready PC will run this fine. I can't speak about consoles because I haven't tried it on it. Another thing this game isn't is Half-Life 3. This isn't Half-Life 3. And a lot of people with VR headsets are saying that this is the new Half-Life. It's not. This is a VR shooter in a Half-Life world. I didn't get any kind of feeling that I was playing Half-Life 1 or 2 when I was playing this, even though I went back to some areas that were pretty much the same in Half-Life 1 and 2. It's just the level design is different, because this is designed for VR. It's not designed as a first-person shooter. It kind of plays like a geriatric with a bad back. It's very, very slow. Very, very slow. I mean, just to put this into perspective, it's a 12-13 hour game, I reckon. I mean, I've played it for 17 hours, but I left my headset on for a few hours when I was downstairs. So I left the game running. So I don't know how long it took me to complete it, unfortunately. But I reckon it's about 13-14 hours. Now, if this game was ported as it is to a first-person shooter, you'd probably do it in 2 hours. That's what I'm saying. It's so much slower. You can't even run in this. You can teleport, but you can't run. It's all slower, and it's very highly dependent on looting. And you loot with your hands, opening boxes with your hands, rummaging around, whereas you don't have any of that with a 2D shooter. You just press the use key, bam, instant, move on. In this, looting takes longer. Now, you do have gravity gloves instead of a gravity gun, which is a great gimmick. It's a great gimmick that they've added, because I wanted a gravity gun, but do you know what? After playing with the gloves for an hour, no, you can keep your gravity gun. I'll have me gloves, please. They are fantastic. You just point at whatever you want, and you get the hang of it after a while. Just snap your wrist up, and then the thing comes flying through the air. You grab it. If it's a clip, drop it over your shoulder into your backpack or pull it into your chest. If it's something you want to store in your hands that isn't a weapon, you have a slot in each wrist where you can keep one item in each wrist. Or you can just use it straight away. If it's a stim pack, you just press a button on it and inject it into your chest, and you're away and you're good to go. You get 3 different guns in this. You've got a pistol, there's a shotgun, and there's a combine, kind of like a machine gun. All of them can be modded. You collect resin as you go around the levels. The priceless little commodity that you use to craft and upgrade. Well, it's just to upgrade, and you find it in boxes all over the place. And you'll find now and then a combine upgrade machine. You stick your gun in, and you can choose from laser sights. You can have a few different sights. There's auto loaders. There's extended magazines, stuff like that. Now, I pretty much got all mine upgraded to where I wanted by the time I got to near the end of the game. It is a game that has replayability because it's such a good experience. It's, like I say, it's the best VR shooter money can buy. There's nothing better than this out there. This is the new bar for any VR shooter. It's more of a VR shooter horror, though. This is very, very scary game, especially the Jeff level where the guy can't see, but he can hear. And you can't kill him, so you have to kind of wander around throwing bottles in this distillery to distract him, and it's terrifying. I did 4 videos on that on my channel where you can watch me deal with it very badly at times, but it was still a fun level, and I still enjoyed it, even though it was the most terrifying experience I've ever had in a game. Just going into a room, you are there. It's like you're there. You are in that room. You pick a box up, you tip it upside down, and stuff will fall out onto the floor. You can then pick that up. That's how it is. Looting is slow and meticulous. You've got to look at everything in the room, move boxes out the way. There's puzzles as well that you have to do. Interacting with the combine machines will throw up one of many different types of puzzles, and the puzzles get harder as the game gets on. There's also areas where you have to reroute electricity cables to open certain doors, or get lifts to operate and things like that. So it's all, again, you couldn't do this in a 2D shooter. You'd have to totally change the puzzles because you wouldn't be able to interact with them. It's entirely built for VR, this game. It has a half-decent story, you play as Alyx Vance, obviously, and this is set between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, the bit in between. You don't get a lot of the story thrown at you, it just comes in snippets as you uncover things, and it leads you off the trail and back on the trail. It has a really good ending. I'm not going to spoil it, I'm not going to show you much from the ending at all, and I'm certainly not going to spoil the ending for you. But the story, yeah, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Anyway, let's talk about the gunplay in this game. Guys, it's out of this world, the gunplay. You're just hiding behind barricades, just peeping out. And the Combine, they have different types of soldier. You've got the heavy soldier with a shield. You've got your regular grunts. And then you've got these machine gunners that just suppress you all the time. But once you find out how to deal with each one, it's not that hard. The AI isn't that great. It's certainly nothing like as good as it is in Half-Life 2, where they run around flanking you and things like that. There's also not as many of them. Some of them are hard to put down if you don't get a good headshot on them. Some of the guns, like the Combine gun, isn't very accurate for headshots. It's just like a spray and pray kind of weapon, but it delivers a lot of rounds very quickly, and it holds a hell of a lot of rounds as well, which is why it's my weapon of choice. It's a fantastic gun. But precision, you want the pistol, and if they're right up close, sometimes just switching to shotgun and just giving them it straight in the face or the chest just brings them down, even the big guys. Then you've got your hand grenades, which you can just prime in your hand and throw, or there's an upgrade for your shotgun where you can put them on the end of your shotgun and shoot them that way. There's your head crabs, you've got your zombies, there's the barnacles, and antlions. So you've got plenty of stuff attacking you in this game. There were specific levels as well where it was kind of like dominant with head crabs, dominant with zombies, dominant with antlions, dominant with Combine. It kind of got a little bit predictable through the middle sections of the game, and then there's the Jeff level, which is the most terrifying level in the game easily. But there's jump scares throughout. Not a huge amount of them, but certainly enough to make you swear a lot. But overall, guys, the game is fantastic. If you have VR, you've got to play this, because it is the best VR shooter ever made. I wish there was more of these games out there, but sadly there aren't. But well done to Valve for coming back to Half-Life and creating this game, because it is way, way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be just a wave shooter, and it just isn't. So I was wrong on that. But I was right that it isn't Half-Life 3 either. So yeah, so I'll take a 50% loss on my predictions. So there you go, guys. Half-Life Alyx. It is absolutely, definitely worth a buy. It's just, the hype is just, you know what it's like. It's not 10 out of 10. I ran into quite a few bugs. So yeah, it's not 10 out of 10, but it's still a fantastic game. And you know what? I'll just finish on this. People have said, is it worth buying VR for? Well, only you can answer that question. I mean, I love me VR. I love me cockpit games, especially racing games. I think they're fantastic. Now I'll look at a few more shooters, because in the past I haven't really liked the shooters because they've all just kind of been boring. This has set the bar. We no longer need wave shooters. We have this. So I want to see more games like this. And if more games like this come out, it's definitely worth buying VR for. Absolutely. But for one game, nah.